So you're saying there's no pagan influence on Christianity?
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like the accusations of Christmas is pagan, Easter is pagan, like that's nonsense.
What about the accusations that like even the Jesus story was taken from other myths and other religions? I think like the Egyptian god Ra or something like that. Like what do you say about this? Is it just like a common occurrence? Like how do you feel? Is it bullshit?
Yes.
Really?
Well,
Talk that shit.
It's Jesus mythicism, and no historian, like even the people who doubt that Jesus exists, don't use that argument, because usually historians are aware of the primary sources. And if you look at the stories of like Horus, Ra, Mithras, Attis, if you look at the details and then try to find the parallels, they're just not there. It was made up by largely and popularized by the
Dan Brown?
Zeitgeist.
Oh.
You know, the movie Zeitgeist?
Yeah.
Like a YouTube thing.
Yeah.
It's made up from thin air. So if you look at the actual stories of like Horus, Ra, the accusations of virgin births and 12 disciples, and you won't find them in those things. You won't.
Really? And isn't there connectivity to some Indian?
I think the story of baby Krishna, I think there's some connectivity in that. I think he was the king tried to kill him, like couldn't do it.
So it's not that there aren't parallels that you can make. It's that like if you look at the actual core of the details. So there's a fallacy called the Texas sharpshooter fallacy, where it's this idea that Texan is shooting in the side of a barn and he then finds the closest cluster of shots and he paints a target around it, making himself look like a great shot, right? So if you want to find parallels, you can find them.
And then you make the accusation afterwards.
Yeah. So
that makes sense.
Let me see if I can give you an example. So John F. Kennedy and Abraham Lincoln were both, the presidencies were exactly 100 years apart. And Abraham Lincoln had he had an assistant by the name of Kennedy, and Kennedy had an assistant by the name of Lincoln. Both were assassinated by a man who went by three names, right? John Wilkes Booth and Lee Harvey Oswald. Kennedy was assassinated in a Lincoln. And Lincoln was assassinated in the Ford Theater. So, like, if you want to go down the rabbit trail of trying to find all these things, you could argue that John F. Kennedy never existed. He was just a copy of Lincoln. And
that's interesting.
The great one is that before Lincoln died, he was in Monroe, Maryland. And before JFK died,
he was in
Marilyn Monroe.
Hey! No. I didn't say it. Mark did. But it's these kind of things, right? So you can find parallels.
I saw this on like a VHS when I was like 8 years old.
That's good. That's a credible source.
My details are... no, it's a story of baby Krishna. But the details are a little iffy. But I remember growing up in such a Christian country that I was like, oh, they took this from the Bible.
Right.